Hey, what up, y'all? It's your boy, Still Khalil, back with another video. All right, so look, I know I've been missing in action. All right, I told y'all I was out gone, Woodboro, New Hampshire. I'm back in town now, but I had to structure the whole label and get everybody situated and everything like that. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be a very good boss if I didn't go to work, at least sometimes. Do you hear me? All right, so I'm back, and I got a video today, but I just want to tell y'all I love y'all, bro. Like, I don't know if y'all make it to the end of the videos a lot of the times where I show my appreciation for y'all listening and watching these videos and engaging with it, bro. But I just I want y'all to know that I really appreciate it. It means the world to me. And if you are not already a Caligionaire, go ahead and hit the like, share, and subscribe. It's not just for me, it's for a community of people that I'm trying to build, or I'm going to build rather, because we're not trying to do shit over here. We doing it. Think big and we be big. Do you hear me? Once again, I'm still Khalil. I love y'all. Let's get to this video. It's about how a no-name Disney artist ruined her career. So if you own Disney Channel right now and you're thinking to yourself, damn, am I a no-name? No, okay, so if you own Disney Channel, you have more of a name than somebody who's not on Disney Channel. So I want you to know that first and foremost. You in the game, baby. All right. But yes, you can still be on Disney Channel and no one knows who the fuck you are. And maybe you feel like everyone should know who you are because you're on Disney Channel. But as we can see in this video, that's not always the case. Once again, hit the like, share, and subscribe, become a Caligionaire today. Let's get to this video.
Disney was warned for years that their live-action remake of Snow White would be an abysmal failure. They ignored the warnings and instead made every wrong decision possible, leading to a box office bomb. Theaters around the world are empty. The film sold 50% less than they projected. It earned a 1.6 out of 10 star rating on IMDb, a 20% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, the CGI dwarves will give you nightmares, and the little people they replaced with CGI have filed a class action lawsuit against Disney.
So I had to stop right here because some of y'all know that I have a label called Brainhead Big Productions. It's not really a label, it's an ideal agency, right? So basically, we do use AI and CGI and shit like that, but we don't replace real people. We only use shit like that to help us do the shit we was already gonna do ourselves. So like I'll CGI myself if I don't feel like going somewhere. You know what I mean? Or like I'll use this shit to help me enhance ideas that I already have. I'm not replacing people that we could actually hire. So don't do that. Use it for good, not for this type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Walt Disney himself is turning in his grave because he personally requested that the company should never change, alter, or remake Snow White, but they did it anyway by casting Rachel Zegler, who insisted that they change the entire film to make it more politically correct.
Yeah, I don't remember when actors or actresses had this much power over productions, but when you do have this power, I suggest you not say shit about shit like that. Don't do political shit at all. Every movie don't need politically correctness. I'm telling you right there. I tried to make my whole label politically correct, and we almost went under the ground. Do you hear me? I don't think you need to do that. Worry about what you worry about, and keep the money to yourself. Do you hear me?
Rachel called the original Prince Charming a stalker, insisted that Snow White was not yearning for love, but actually dreamed of being a leader. Rachel also demanded she be paid more for, quote, standing in a dress for 18 hours.
Now, I don't want to sound like a hater or nothing, but who is this lady? Like, what other movies has she played in that's like so great that gives her the authority to be like, we ain't doing that. We gonna change the whole motherfucking script to this type shit. What, like, who... Do she know somebody in the production agency? Like, is she somebody's daughter or something? They couldn't say no or they was going to lose their job? Like, I don't see how she had this much power. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I don't know. I ain't never heard nothing shit like this.
Zegler created so much controversy that Disney had to hire a personal security detail for her co-star Gal Gadot because of the countless death threats she was receiving.
Now, in her defense on this one, I'm going to say Gal Gadot had her own issues. You know what I mean? Because I watched the Gal Gadot acting reel, and I just want to understand how I didn't catch how bad of an actress she was this whole motherfucking time. I thought she was doing good. I really thought she was a good actress. So maybe some of these people had different reasons for wanting to have her not be alive anymore, and so it probably wasn't all Zegler's fault. I'm just saying I heard some things. That's all I'm saying, and I seen some things too. that I did not see before, and I'm wondering how the
This
fuck.
movie is an absolute dumpster fire, and Rachel's response to the film bombing proved that everyone's suspicions about her were correct.
I'm a narcissist.
Oh, she dangerous. Anybody say that with that much glee, and she's look at her face. Any woman that will admit that is actually crazy as fuck. Cause you know, I'm not trying to be sexist here, but in my experience, I have noticed that 80% of the women I have known are narcissists. Now, and they've never once said this at all. They are adamant against the fact that they are that. So the fact that she is happily telling you this, you need to run, my nigga.
And yet none of that has anything to do with why people were suspicious about Rachel Zegler in the first place. In 2018, Rachel's friend sent her a tweet about an open casting call for Steven Spielberg's film adaptation of West Side Story. So 16-year-old Zegler recorded and submitted an audition tape.
Bernardo and Anita argue all morning about a fight that's gonna happen tonight?
Now, she was definitely a promising young talent. She spent her childhood acting in countless plays and developed an impressive singing voice. Rachel was just one of 30,000 who auditioned for the role of Maria. Without any professional acting experience, an agent, or connections in Hollywood, she was selected for the lead role. Her performance earned critical acclaim, and she went on to win the Golden Globe for Best Actress in a Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy. The industry plant accusations were formed because some people simply do not believe that a no-name actor could get this lucky.
No, in her defense on this one, I don't know why we be watching niggas' careers that hard. You know what I mean? I understand we want to try to, you know, pinpoint the opportunities that they had that we didn't have, so we can make ourselves feel better for the things that we didn't do with our own lives and shit like that. But I hate the industry plant shit because these niggas still have to do the jobs. Like, she still got to go to work. She still had to go and act and do these things and show up to these events and do, like, okay, did you had the same opportunities, you just didn't because you didn't.
She was basically hand-selected by Steven Spielberg. Then again, with the entertainment industry being flooded with nepo babies and people born into immense wealth, Rachel being essentially a random girl from New Jersey securing an A-list role actually might be a step in the right direction for Hollywood. However, they may have chose the wrong girl.
So she gonna fuck it up for niggas like me. That's what they saying. Because I'm a no-name nigga coming from nowhere, and that's why the industry keeps saying you ain't supposed to allow niggas like that in, because they always get the big head and they do all of them. Hey man, I just want to eat so I can, you know what I'm saying, feed my family. Do you hear me? I'm not trying to get in here and tell y'all what y'all can and cannot do. I'm gonna do what I can and cannot want to do. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna tell y'all what y'all can do. If y'all don't want me in this movie, you know what I'm saying, don't put me in the movie. I'm saying I'm not finna come and tell y'all this how the movie gotta be. You know what I'm saying? So you can still give niggas a chance. So I'm telling y'all, don't let this bitch. I'm sorry to call her a bitch, but she's fucking it up for everybody now. So we gotta call. We gotta say something about it. So get her out the way.
Because her inability to keep her politically charged opinions to herself started to cause problems for Disney executives. As if West Side Story wasn't already a massive introduction to Hollywood, her next role was even bigger, one that could set her up for a lifetime of success, and that was being cast as Snow White in Disney's live-action remake of the classic. Rachel chose to make this monumental announcement on Twitter where she wrote, "Yes, I am Snow White. No, I am not bleaching my skin for the role."
Now I get that Snow White was supposed to be all white and everything, and you know, I don't know if she looked in the mirror, but you know, you are on the white side, so I don't really think too many people would have been upset with you not saying shit about this and just doing your motherfucking job. You know what I'm saying? I don't really think that was a big deal. You had to announce that you're not a black actress. You're not a you didn't have to do all of that. And do we have to do all that either? Yeah. I'm just saying, I'm asking questions. I'm just an observer. I think I learned how to say it now.
Rachel deleted this tweet shortly after sending it out to the world. However, the reason she brought up her skin color in the first place was to address the criticism she was receiving online. In the original fairy tale and the 1937 animated film, Snow White is depicted as having skin as white as snow. It is quite literally the inception of the princess's identity. But Rachel Zegler is of Colombian descent and has more of an olive skin tone. Now, there definitely were some extreme takes, suggesting that Disney is evil and only casting POC characters to cause outrage. There were also some blatantly racist takes, but most people were just genuinely confused why Snow White wasn't going to be white.
I mean, okay, so look, I'm a comic purist. I like when shit is good, when they be like, this character is supposed to be like this and it's supposed to be like this. I get it. And I understand why people would say what they were saying now. But honest, like, come on, y'all. Like, y'all really think they would just do it just to piss people off? Maybe there aren't people born of this skin color like that no more that can actually act. Did you want Disney to just find a random pasty white bitch and put her on a damn movie and she can't even do none of the damn things? And we got a weak ass Snow White movie because the bitch can't even act. Like, come on, y'all. We gotta get we pushing forward ahead. We trying to think. I don't know what the words be using is, but that's what we trying to do. You know what I mean? Let us do that.
And this does seem to be a recurring theme for Disney these days. The original 1989 animation of The Little Mermaid depicted Ariel as a white woman, whereas the 2023 live-action remake cast Halle Bailey as Ariel, who is African American.
Now, a lot of people was mad about this one. I did see the outrage on this one. I guess it's because I am in the black community, so I would see that before I would see Colombian community things, because I'm not Colombian. So maybe it was the same amount of outrage. I'm not trying to say ours is worse, because people be like, man, we struggled too. We were slaves. We were Irish people. I get it, man. Look, I'm not one of them niggas, all right? I read the history. I'm up on the knowledge. Do you hear me? But this is the type of shit I'm saying. Like, in her situation, she would be the one to be like, I'm playing this and I'm not bleaching my skin type shit, and they not, you know what I'm saying? Because then people would be like, what's gonna happen? Because they actually wondering, like, how the fuck is you gonna play this role? You know what I mean? Because the clearly you ain't the same, you know what I'm saying? But in her situation, she was the same color, so I don't think she had it. I'm just saying.
And yes, this film was also accused of pandering, trying to change something that was a non-issue in the first place. However, defenders pointed out that mermaids don't have a race because they are not real. Normally, these controversies lead to failure, but the film grossed over $560 million worldwide and made a solid profit. But Zegler insisted that the Snow White remake was based on an alternative version of the story, one that doesn't have to do with her skin color.
Now, see, this is where I think she fucked up at, because in the other movie, The Mermaid, I don't think they specifically said Ariel's like skin color in the movie or in the book or whatever. I don't think that was like a thing. But in Snow White's case, it said like her skin was this for a reason, and it had the reasons why. And like now you basically you acting and you not that, and now you're trying to change the whole like premise of the movie pretty much. And I don't think a lot of purists ain't gonna like that. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's right or wrong to hate things, but I'm just saying this is reason why you can't just do that. You already fucking up the shit in a different kind of way. Now you're trying to fuck it up all the way. How did she get this much power? That's all I'm trying. Like, what the fuck? Who is her? Who is her?
She said, "It fell back to another version of Snow White that was told in history, where she survived a snowstorm that occurred when she was a baby, and so the king and queen decided to name her Snow White to remind her of her resilience. One of the core points in our film for any young woman or young person is remembering how strong you actually are."
Damn, I want to come to her defense on this one, because that's a really nice message to send to the youth and to everybody around, but something tells me she gonna fuck this up somehow.
And while this may seem like a small nuance that doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, it was an insight into the major changes that were coming next. Because the more Zegler talked about the film, the more it seemed like it was going to be a disaster. Particularly in this Variety interview where she talked about how she and the writers are giving Snow White a modern twist.
Now, y'all know I'm not one to try to confirm industry plant allegations. I'm usually speaking against them. But in this situation, you're not helping the industry plant allegations at all, because who the fuck has this much power over the productions that they are in unless you are funding them? And if you are funding them, how do you have that much money? And we don't know. Like, it's given hidden hand. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. I don't understand how a no name would have this much power over a whole production. To be like, me and the writers is doing something totally different than what y'all know about, and I don't get that.
You said you were bringing a modern edge to it. What do you mean by that?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince. She's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
Now, I don't want to sound like a weak ass nigga, but I feel like this is the wrong message to send now, because we need true love. I think that's the problem with the world right now. Is nobody's looking for love. Everybody's looking what they can get. You only take people out because you try to smash, and they only want to go out with you because they got some ass and they need some cash. You know what I'm saying? So it just seemed like we doing things based off of not what it's supposed to be on, and this is another step in that direction that I don't think we should be taking. I'm just saying.
Snow White dreams of being a leader? Why not write a totally new story instead of remaking the old ones? It has nothing to do with Snow White. Zegler, there is nothing wrong with dreaming about true love. But people were not overreacting in the comments. Zegler supported stripping this classic story of its roots.
I mean, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird.
Yeah, you're not weird at all, so you can speak on that.
So we didn't do that this time.
Rachel's tone might come off silly to some, but it is evidently so sarcastic. Referring to Prince Charming as a stalker is inaccurate and disrespectful. We are not talking about just any Disney film, we are talking about the first ever full-length animated feature film in history.
Now look, I'm not saying we can't go back and revisit things and say that they are bad after we've realized that they are. But I don't really feel like in this. So maybe he could be portrayed as a stalker if you did everything he did in today's world. But the only reason he was doing that is because you don't have the things that we do have today. Like if you had cell phones, if we had emails and Instagram and all that shit, I don't think he would have been doing what he was doing. So it's a different time. It's not like it's different, just different rules. It was literally a different time where different things were happening. So you could not do the things today that would make that weird to you. You hear me?
This is quite literally Walt Disney's baby. Now, people are already a little apprehensive towards the countless remakes of old Disney classics, but Rachel's lack of class and grace pushed anyone who was even a little open-minded away. Despite that, she continued to express her disdain for the original film.
I was scared of the original cartoon. Like, I'm being so serious. I watched it once, never revisited Snow White again.
What's interesting about Rachel claiming to be scared of the original film is that she also said the exact opposite during her press tour, showing pictures of her as a child in her Snow White dress and how she always dreamed as a little girl of being this princess.
So I was gonna say she would have to have history of the movie, because I don't like when actors just start playing a character they don't know nothing about type shit. You would need to do this. So I was gonna say the whole I like Snow White is an angle from like her marketing team or whatever, but it feels like the I don't know Snow White is a marketing plan. Like you want to pretend to not have a connection to it so you can fuck it up, so you can be detached from the emotions that you're fucking up everybody else with, because you got them yourself, but you just can't come to grips with it because you want to get rid of that part of yourself, so you don't care what everybody else got to go through.
This constant flip-flopping along with her sarcastic tone just soured people's perception of her. But not only did she seem unappreciative of a Disney classic, she also made some interesting comments about her next role as Anthea in Shazam! Fury of the Gods.
So that's why I don't be knowing these actors and actresses. I don't be paying attention to shit like the supporting roles until they get big, and then I be like, where they come from? But I should probably start paying attention to supporting characters in movies too. I'm one of the niggas that pay attention to supporting characters in life. So don't come for me. I pay attention to the niggas who I don't think is superstars yet and all that shit. I pay attention to them in real life. So don't come for me about what I do in the movies.
What made you want to step into this world of DC heroes?
I needed a job. I'm being so serious.
While yes, even actors have bills to pay and need a job to do that, some interpreted the remark as snarky and annoying. Now, to be fair, later in the interview, Rachel does go on to express her gratitude for receiving this role, considering it was only her second Hollywood film ever, but her unapologetic attitude on the red carpet continued to stir the pot.
Again, there are actors who have been acting for several years and been in a lot of things that we know, and we know them. And I don't think that they have this much power on the set. And I mean, if they do, maybe they're smart enough to understand that you should shut the fuck up, because you can fuck up your whole career by telling people what you do and do not want in a place where you are, you know. I'm not saying you're subservient, but do your motherfucking job and go home. When I was working as a manager back in the day, I didn't go and tell the district managers how they should structure their fucking shit. I did the shit they sent down and I went home. You know what I'm saying? Do your job and go the fuck home.
And she just kept making it worse, specifically during the writer's strike of 2023. The Writers Guild of America represents thousands of writers in film, TV, radio, and online media. They are the backbone of Hollywood's content. Despite their importance, Hollywood executives restructured the industry to drastically reduce residual payments, leaving most writers with little to no income after their work is uploaded to apps like Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, etc. So the Guild went on a strike to renegotiate and push for higher pay. Rachel Zegler also used her voice to support the strike.
If I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
Now, I'm all for standing up for yourself and fighting for your rights and getting your money on it. But again, who the fuck are you? You need to team up with people with a bigger voice than you to say some shit like this, because I ain't even heard no shit. I ain't heard Denzel say no shit like that. I ain't heard, you know what I'm saying? We got bigger actresses than you, motherfucker.
Like everything people hate about this generation distilled into a single person. At this point, I'm sure you are noticing a pattern. While we hope that deep down Rachel's intentions are pure, and we hope that she truly is just trying to have an overall positive impact on the world, she has a terrible way of expressing her opinions, as her tone often comes off as disrespectful. Having 2 movies under her belt and already aggressively demanding higher pay came off extremely entitled, especially considering the strike was mostly for writers, because main characters, like Zegler, are often compensated extremely generously.
So not only was that shit out of line, that was extremely tone deaf to the motherfucking other people that already is fighting for the shit that they don't even get for real. Like, you get paid money. You can negotiate. You can tell the motherfucking set what you do and do not want to motherfucking do. The writers just want to get paid fairly. They can't even tell nobody no shit like that, and you over here still complaining about some shit.
By this point, her reputation was at an all-time low, and there were even rumors circulating that Disney was going to axe this film, as countless people expressed that Rachel Zegler is the sole reason that they would not go to watch the movie. But then somehow, Disney managed to make things even worse. They announced that they would be changing Snow White's 7 dwarves to the more politically correct Snow White's diverse group of magical creatures of all sizes and genders.
Now, I'm all for progression. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think we should be changing shit like that. You know, I don't think dwarves actually exist. Well, there are some real dwarves out here and little people and some, you know what I'm saying? We don't call them the M word no more. But I don't think they have a problem with that. Did they call you? Did they tell you that they didn't like being called that no more? Like, you know what I'm saying? We heard the M word call. They said they didn't want to be called M words. We got it. But I ain't never heard nothing about no dwarves.
Photos of the cast were leaked onto the internet, which sparked outrage. These look like medieval times reenactors at the local fair.
But you still got a dwarf in that motherfucker. So you just stripped the identity of the one motherfucker that actually is a dwarf and told him that now you are a magical creature of every size. Bitch, I'm a dwarf. I have an identity. I know who the fuck I am. You ain't gonna tell me. You know what I'm saying? Like, see, people be trying to be politically correct, but then you be politically incorrect to other motherfuckers who ain't on that type of time. You know what I'm saying? So what you gonna do when you realize you still an asshole trying to be nice? Are you gonna change your ways or shut the fuck up sometimes?
Disney quickly responded and said that these were not pictures of the actual set, but nobody believed them. The only reason Disney planned on changing the dwarves in the first place was because of a comment made by Hollywood star Peter Dinklage, who felt that the new rendition of the movie was not progressive enough.
So it was a nigga that's Alright, bro. Okay. Niggas always gotta fuck it up for everybody. Did you talk to the rest of the dwarves, nigga? You just cause you made it to Hollywood, you a big shot now and you got your own voice. Don't mean you supposed to speak for everybody that's not in Hollywood like you, nigga. Did you talk to the dwarves committee? You gotta take, you gotta call a meeting, and you gotta have somebody who's not a dwarf sitting in as a median, so we can, make sure everything going correctly, and y'all don't get in there fighting and shit like that. Hey, man, all right, bro, fuck it. Somebody got mad.
I was a little taken back by the they're very proud to cast a Latino actress as Snow White.
Yeah.
But you're still telling the story of Snow White,
yeah.
and Seven Dwarfs.
Sure.
So you take a step back and look at what you're doing there.
Yeah.
I know. That makes no sense to me.
Fuck is this nigga talking about? Is that a reason to not call them dwarfs no more? Like, just because she Latina now, she can't have dwarfs? You don't want to be underneath a Latina? You think you a racist now? You was only cool being the dwarf of a really, really white woman? So now since she ain't really, really white, you don't want to be her dwarf? Is that what's going on? Because that's the only thing I heard. That's what it sounded like to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just reading between the lines. Fuck all this.
You're progressive in one way, but you're still making that backward story of seven dwarves living in a cave. What the are you doing, man?
Okay, I guess he didn't want to be portrayed as a caveman. All right.
Even though Peter Dinklage has built an illustrious Hollywood legacy with countless roles as a little person, he seemed pretty upset with Disney.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Keep it all the way around, clown.
They promptly responded that they would avoid reinforcing stereotypes and would be consulting with members of the dwarfism community to make the 7 characters more inclusive. Most people just looked at this as Disney once again pandering to another social issue, but what often happens when trying to please everyone for the sake of being politically correct, you end up pleasing no one.
Yes, so this is a message for all the people who are not Disney. You're starting your company, your brand, or whatever you got going on. You cannot please everybody. And when you try to please everybody, you will please no one. You will go nowhere. You will make no money. You will do no thing. Do you understand? So you're going to have to find somebody you're going to piss off. I mean, it sounds bad to say something like that, but there's a group of people that you're going to have to piss off. You're going to piss these people off. There's nothing you're going to do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. Please understand this and find that group of people and piss them off right now. Because that's the only way you're going to find the people that you're not pissing off. To find your group of people that you need to find so that you can build your group really fine. Do you understand? So, bruh, there's no possible way for you to go through your whole life building a brand that's sustainable and not piss nobody off. You can't do it. I promise you.
What they're doing is pretty much you're replacing jobs that people could have as little people. Okay. Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs, it's for dwarfs.
See, and this is why I always had a problem with the wrong people getting into the places that are, like certain people should be. Because Peter Dinklage just killed every fucking other dwarf's opportunity to get a job. You know what I mean? Type shit. So it's like he pulled up the ladder. And I'm not trying to say this, but a lot of people do get to a position where they're like, I can be the only one. No, there could be no other dwarfs that get bigger than me type shit. You know what I'm saying? This happens a lot in the black community now. A lot of black people get into places where they feel like they the best of the city, or they just nobody else can be as big as them. They do shit like this, and I'm not trying to say it's happening where you at, but it just might be. All right. So, and again, if I wanted to hurt like a production or some shit, and I know that they're gonna listen to everything I say as a problem, I'll just present a stupid ass problem to them and tell them that this has to be changed. And I know they will change it. And now they've ruined their movie, and now I've won. Don't listen to everybody telling you everything. That's all I'm saying. You hear me?
Disney was panicking for a solution to make both sides happy, and nobody could have predicted how bad their solution to this problem would be. Instead of casting real actors, Disney decided to eliminate them and use CGI dwarves instead, which will provide enough nightmare fuel to last you the rest of 2025.
So in Disney's defense right here, if y'all want them to care about what y'all say all the time, they was thinking about all the things that they got presented. Somebody said they shouldn't have dwarves. Somebody said if they don't have dwarves, they taking the job away from the dwarves. So now they like, damn, we can't hire actual niggas to take jobs away from the dwarves because that's taking jobs away from the dwarves. So we ain't giving nobody no job. We just not hire nobody. So now nobody can be mad. See, that's the logic that they was thinking with, trying to please everybody. This is why you can't do that shit, because it's stupid in a motherfucker.
The dwarves look like scary monsters, not cute, charming friends. The overuse of CGI in this film allowed them to take shortcuts. Instead of creating detailed artistic sets and costumes, they relied on animation, which made the film feel cheap, hollow, and soulless. Like, wasn't this supposed to be a live-action remake? Where's the live action? Why is there so much CGI? Why does it look like a really bad cartoon? Additionally, the significance of the dwarves to the story was drastically reduced. Grumpy and Dopey got a decent amount of screen time, while the other 5 dwarves were barely shown enough for the viewers to be able to distinguish them from one another. Ironically, all of these decisions were made to avoid backlash from the dwarfism community, and now the little people who were removed from the film are now planning a class action lawsuit against Disney for replacing them with cartoons.
This is why I be speaking out against just listening to the nigga with the most clout in the room. Like, he was the most famous dwarf, and y'all gonna listen to his opinion over everybody else because he got the most clout. Now, y'all just put y'allself in a position to be sued because y'all not actually listening to real people. Y'all listening to a hater who wants to stop other motherfuckers from being able to get on to surpass his position in the game. You gotta think about this type of shit. I'm not the only motherfucker with a brain out here. Use yours too, man. Use your noodle. We talked about this. PB&J, man.
This is so ridiculous. Actress Allie Chapman, who is 3 foot 8 inches tall, said, 7 talented little people actors could have played these roles in the live-action remake, and yet they chose to use cartoons. It's an insult and discriminatory. You ever see one of those tragic situations where it's extremely foggy and there's a traffic jam on the highway and you have cars speeding into the fog, just crashing into each other? That is this film. And surely it couldn't get any worse, right? Wrong, because now there was a major dispute between the 2 stars of the film, Gal Gadot and Rachel Zegler. Fans noticed sometime between 2023 and 2024 that Gal and Rachel may have developed some tension. As you can see in this interview, Gal is being professional, looking and smiling while Zegler is speaking. But whenever Gal is speaking, Zegler refuses to look at her, often looking down at her feet or off to the side. Their body language screams that there is tension between them, and these assumptions would be proven true. When Disney released the official trailer for Snow White, Rachel thanked the fans for their support, receiving over 120 million views in 24 hours. She used that big moment to make a political statement. And always remember, free Palestine.
Look, this is why I'm not political and people be mad at me talking about, you gotta pick a political side, man. You gotta stand for something, my brother. Hey, man, listen, you ain't gotta stand for that shit. I free Palestine too. I don't want nobody to be subjugated to no kind of shit. But this ain't about that. Thank the motherfuckers for the movie and move the fuck on. And then in another post, say free Palestine. Don't connect it to the goddamn... Bruh, that's what I be saying, man. I know we want to use our voice for things, bruh. And I use my voice for things all the time. That's why I'm not, as on as I should be. Because people think I shouldn't use it for what I be using it for. But I wouldn't use it for this. You know what I'm saying? I got some cool...
While some saw this as an honorable act of solidarity, others interpreted it as a jab at her co-star. Gal Gadot is Israeli and even served in their military. Gal has been outwardly supportive of her country, specifically posting support for the IDF and civilian hostages taken during the October 7th Hamas attack.
Now do y'all see what I'm saying? See, you be thinking you trying to be good and you saying stuff in support of one place or people or thing. But you are actually shitting on another one. And now you gotta choose which one you wanna do. Like, you are not pleasing everybody. You can't be out here like, yeah, I make everybody happy. Everything I do benefits everybody. No, it doesn't. Everything you do does not benefit everybody. I'm telling you right now for a fact, it does not. So you are choosing who you are shitting on by uplifting the people that you are uplifting. This is what happens. She tried to say free Palestine, but now you shitting on your co-star who is Palestine. You know what I'm saying? She was in the Israeli army. I don't know what it has to do with anything. I'm not up on the politics like that. That's why I stay out of that. But I know for a fact, if you do pick a side, you hurting the other one.
Almost immediately, Gal began getting a concerning amount of death threats. Things got so bad that Disney had to hire a personal security detail for Gaddit. One of the Disney producers, Mark Platt, flew from Los Angeles to New York to have a personal crisis talk with Zegler. Platt had to remind her how much was at stake with the movie and her career before asking her to post heedfully. The son of the Disney producer was criticized online for his father trying to reprimand Zegler, to which he responded, "Yeah, my dad, the producer of an enormous piece of Disney IP with hundreds of millions of dollars on the line, had to leave his family to fly across the country to reprimand his 20-year-old employee for dragging her personal politics into the middle of promoting the movie for which she signed a multi-million-dollar contract to get paid and do publicity for. This is called adult responsibility and accountability, and her actions clearly hurt the film's box office."
Now, I want y'all to understand I take contract law very seriously. That's why y'all see me speaking on certain things and not on others. Because I've signed NDAs for companies I've worked for about what I can and cannot speak about. You know what I mean? But if I don't got no contract to say I can't, bitch, who the fuck gonna stop me? You know what I mean? So that's why I got a freer voice than a lot of people. I haven't signed very many of those. I haven't signed a lot of things. I ain't signed my life away to say that I can't be myself no more. I've signed, some NDAs to say I can't speak on certain companies and certain businesses and type shit like that. But yeah, I mean, if you sign a contract that says you have to do these things, read your contract. If you just sign a new job contract, read what you can do on social media. All that niggas be complaining about getting fired from TikTok and all that shit. Read your job shit, man. They probably told you that shit. Don't act like it just came out of nowhere. Learn how to read, motherfucker.
Free speech does not mean you're allowed to say whatever you want in your private employment without repercussions. Tens of thousands of people worked on that film, and she hijacked the conversation for her own immature desires, at the risk of all the colleagues and crew and blue-collar workers who depend on that movie to be successful. Narcissism is not something to be coddled or encouraged. Now, Rachel Zegler cannot necessarily be held responsible for the actions of other people. After all, her and her co-star are doing the exact same thing. They are just expressing support for opposite sides. But all of this could have been avoided if they just left politics out of a children's movie.
Exactly, man. So this is for the people who think that you're supposed to use your voice at every moment you have to you know what I'm saying? As soon as you get on the Grammy stage, tell everybody about Free Palestine. Tell everybody about this. Tell everybody. Bruh, stop. You don't have to use your voice for these things at these moments, at these times. Yes, be a voice for change. Yes, speak out against things that you want to change. But not in the middle of promoting the damn movie, man. Not right next to the goddamn shit. Like, we got times and places for this. Y'all ain't supposed to be doing this shit right now. Wait. Leave it. Give it some time, motherfucker.
But Zegler was insistent on making her political opinion heard at any opportunity she could.
Vote for Kamala Harris. And it's actually non-negotiable.
So you can tell this is only her second film. Because what the fuck? This is not the time for this shit. Stop using your platform to do things. You are a Disney person right now. You are not just a regular person talking on a Sunday morning. You have a role to play. You are a role model for a lot of young girls out here doing things. Like, what the hell you think you doing, bitch?
Our rights are on the line, folks. Our reproductive rights. Come on. Go vote blue.
Now, for all of y'all thinking that I'm going to sell out or whatever I'm saying, because I'm saying don't say things when you representing the company or whatever, bro, this is why I'm out of that. I used to work in corporate America because I understand the rules. When you working for a company, you are subjective to their motherfucking rules. You got to read their handbook. What do they want you to be? What do they want you to represent? Who are you supposed to talk about? All this shit. What can you say? What are you representing? Do you have any political ties to certain things? What does the company benefit from politically? You got to look at all of these things, and that's what you gauge what you can speak about publicly as a person of this company. It's not right, no. That's why I don't work for them motherfuckers no more. But if you do, this is what you got to do, motherfucker. You can't just be like doing everything you want to do and then get mad because they bring the hammer down on your ass for doing some shit they told you not to fucking do when you signed up with the motherfucking company.
And if you disagree with this sentiment, just hit the unfollow button. I don't need your business.
Again, bitch, this ain't your old business. You work for Disney right now. You fucking up Disney business. You ain't got no business. This is your second film. You ain't doing shit. You ain't got nothing going on. You were fucking up our money and our bottom line, bitch. Get off the internet talking all this dumb ass shit.
And what better time than immediately after the election of President Donald Trump? She posted on her Instagram story, "I find myself speechless in the midst of this. Another 4 years of hatred, leaning us towards a world I do not want to live in. Leaning us towards a world that will be hard to raise my daughter in." She doesn't have a daughter, by the way. "Leaning us towards a world that will force her to have a baby she doesn't want. Leaning us towards a world that is fearful. I shouldn't be this shocked, but I am. I am heartbroken for my friends who awoke fear this morning, and I am here with you. To cry, to yell, to hug, to wax poetic on how the left continues to fail us in forging a new path forward. This loss should not have been, and it certainly should not have been by so many votes. May Trump supporters and Trump voters and Trump himself never know peace." This sent the media into an all-out frenzy, particularly conservative media, who were shocked that Disney was allowing their star to publicly condemn half the country.
You see how it's bigger than you right now? It's not just you saying the shit. It's Disney saying the shit at this point, because you are a star that they are paying millions of motherfucking dollars to represent them, to speak on behalf of them for this film. And this is what the fuck you were choosing to say. This is what I'll be saying. Like, it's bigger than you. It ain't about what you want to do. You gotta look at the implications of the things you are saying to the people around you, the people that are putting down things for you, the people that are putting up money for you.
Hello, Disney. You're going to have to redo your film again because this woman is a pig and you fired Gina Carano for far less than this nonsense.
Rachel finally crossed a line. Disney was officially fed up with her and decided to take action. First, I'm assuming, they made her apologize because she redacted her comments she made about the election. From there, Zegler reportedly began working with a social media guru paid for by Disney to vet any posts before the film's March 21st debut. They essentially had someone monitoring her social media so she wasn't able to sabotage the film any further, but the damage had already been done.
This is why I'm very careful, man. I have made some mistakes about saying certain things about people and shit, and I do apologize to the groups of people that I offended with my actions and the words that I said, just, being a stupid-ass rapper, trying to start beefs to get the city going a little bit, you know what I mean? They didn't know that that's what I was doing. They thought the beefs was real, and I was saying real things now. I mean, no cap in my rap now. But it wasn't supposed to be what it has turned into. A lot of people are mad at me for saying things, and I get it, but this is why I'm telling y'all, don't do that shit. I'm trying to help the next generation not fall into the traps that are so easy to fall into.
The film officially released in theaters worldwide on March 21st, 2025. There was a slight chance that all this negative publicity would actually draw more attention to the film, increase ticket sales, and lead to a successful debut. Unfortunately for Disney, the opposite happened. Fans knew this movie was going to suck way before it ever released, and no matter how many professional critics on Rotten Tomatoes are writing positive reviews, the fans have made their statement with a lack of support. And as a result, Snow White has suffered a disastrous opening weekend at the global box office, earning only $87.3 million worldwide, which sounds like a lot until you realize that it had a staggering $250 million production budget, which some reports suggest is actually closer to $300 million after reshoots and marketing costs. That means they had a whopping 70% loss, making it one of Disney's biggest box office bombs in recent history.
So again, I ask, who the fuck is this bitch? How the fuck did she have so much power to ruin a whole motherfucking multi-million dollar operation just by being able to control shit she should not have been able to control? Like, all y'all had to do was just not allow her to do this shit, because this is only her second film. Why does she have so much power to be able to tell y'all what y'all can and cannot do? Now I would not lose 70% of millions of dollars for nobody. You hear me? I don't care if we gotta kick you out a long time ago. You gonna be gone, because we're not letting you speak around and that's a whole bunch of millions of dollars, man. I don't think we're doing the math for real. That's not cool.
This performance is nearly exactly the same as The Little Mermaid. It had the same budget and had a very similar opening weekend. However, The Little Mermaid was actually a pretty good remake with positive reviews. Fans later decided to give the movie a shot, which resulted in a $569 million worldwide box office earnings. But due to the overwhelming agreement from people who actually watched the movie that it sucks, and then people straight up boycotting, I don't think Snow White's gonna get a second wind. This is a bomb. And Rachel Zegler's response to the box office failure was nothing short of delusional.
And to everyone who hates when I win, the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces.
I don't know if we're looking at the same statistics, but ruining a multi-million-dollar operation, tarnishing the reputation of a billion-dollar company, I don't think that's a win. I don't know what we're judging wins on now, because I'm out of the loop. I'm 32 years old. I'm not one of the young kids. I'm Unc right now, so I don't know what we're calling wins, but I'm pretty sure that's not one of them. I don't think we can consider that a win at all. I'm just saying.
And people still line up to see her. And I can only hope that despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them, that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
Well, they didn't wait in line to see the movie. That's why it failed so horribly. 70% loss of millions of dollars. So that they didn't wait in line for that. So I don't know if what you're saying is true. We can hold it to the same caliber of everything else. You know what I mean?
People who already thought Zegler was a narcissist have officially confirmed their feelings after seeing this statement. They suspected she was trying to make this film about her. They suspected that she did not care for the legacy of Disney and that all she wanted was the spotlight for herself. And honestly, this response makes it seem like those assumptions are now justified. But it's a confusing response because the film was a massive flop. Like, essentially she's saying, haha, my movies are so great, you just have to line up and you have to watch them. But that's not the case. People are actually not waiting in line for this film specifically because of her. And as easy as it is to continuously blame her for the failure of this film, it's only fair to admit that Rachel Zegler's performance was actually decent. She is a great singer, and she definitely performed well considering most of what makes the film actually bad was outside of her control. Like most Disney live-action remakes, Snow White just felt a bit bland and lacked the magic of the original.
Well, we saying that we can't really blame her, but it seems like that is her fault. She took away the magic. The magic was in the story, and the dwarves, and the things that went on to make things happen. And she said, no, fuck all that. We won't change that shit into some bullshit. So I think we can blame her. I think it is her fault. Very much.
The CGI looked cheap, the colors are dull and boring, the evil queen didn't feel very evil at all. These remakes often struggle to capture the same charm, making them feel like a corporate cash grab. But since Disney will lose money on this film, perhaps they won't make this same mistake going forward. But the biggest learning lesson for Disney here is that the internet outrage is not fake. When people say, hey, your main character is insufferable and I will not spend my money to see this movie, they're not lying. When people say they genuinely want politics to remain out of a children's movie, they are not lying. And when people say it's better to just invent new stories instead of alter the classics, they are not lying. The people won, but the truth is, this film should have never been made. Walt Disney himself was extremely protective of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. This was essentially his baby. Walt reportedly rejected multiple ideas for sequels, including a proposed short called Snow White Returns, and was adamant that the original story should not be altered or expanded, as he believed Snow White was a standalone masterpiece that should remain untouched.
This is why me and certain other artists out here are saying that we should stop remaking every damn song from back in the day and y'all should just make some new music. Because one, there are artists out here that are really making really great new music and you just not paying attention to it because it don't sound like the old shit because they not using samples from your favorite old artists. Let them have their music. Go listen to your favorite old artists and then let the new niggas get a chance to share their sound. There are a lot of artists out here that's making great music. Just because it don't sound like what you're used to doesn't mean that it is not music. Give them a chance, man.
And it's extremely evident that Disney should have honored their creators' one wish.
Alright, that's all I got for today, y'all, man. Go check out his videos. That's Patrick CT. Patrick CT, Patrick CC. Check out his videos and go like, share, and subscribe all over his content. Like, share, and subscribe to all the other videos I got, and we coming, bringing more videos, man. Once again, if you are not a Caligionaire, go ahead and hit like, share, and subscribe. If you don't know what a Caligionaire is, it's what I call my twins and the friends is locked in. Do you hear me? Once again, man, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all so much, man. Y'all mean the world to me. I promise y'all, like, no matter how distant I be sometimes, I'm just working on a lot of stuff, bro. I'm a label owner. I'm a father. I'm everything else, man. I can't really say too much about what I'm doing right now. I'm working on a lot of other things, but I got some titles that I'm about to be able to be bestowed upon me very soon. So I love y'all. Just stay tuned, man. Lock in with me on Instagram, TikTok, all the things, man. I'm everywhere. Do you hear me? If you don't know where I'm be at, just look for me. Still Khalil, anywhere you know where things are. Do you hear me? I love y'all. Peace and love.